Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about pet communication. How do I connect with pets in sessions like readings and or healings? But I have two special ones that I want to speak about today. Um, First of all, this one was about a dog that was having some issues. They weren't too really sure what was going on with the dog. And so when I started connecting with this dog, I was in a healing session. It was private, meaning there was nobody else in the session but this dog. And I asked to have a soul to soul connection so that I could hear, so that I could feel, and so I could talk to this lovely being. And what happened was in the session, my eyes started to feel kind of gooky and I felt like a film over it. And I was like, wow, my eyes having this film over it. He must have an issue with his eyes. And then my stomach started to hurt, just kind of like in my regular healing sessions when I'm healing a client, I was feeling the same way I would with this dog. And the session goes on. And at the end of the session, the dog said, I really wanted to have this session not only for me, but for my master, which I thought, wow, that is so loving. But what I learned, which was so interesting, what I learned is this dog was carrying so many of its master's issues. So as many times our pets feel our energy, they take on our energy. And what was happening here is this dog was taking on his master's energy, sicknesses, and illnesses. So the dog said, I want the healing to be for my master as well, so that the two of them would be healed. And I thought, wow, how sweet is that? And then when I learned about the dog, I heard that, let's see, it says the right eye film over the eye is exactly what is happening to him. It's called an ulcer in the eye, a dry eye. It's very hard to diagnose, but can be very degenerated. Sorry about that, for the eye. And the dog could go blind. So God was so good. He brought through the most important things so that we could heal this lovely animal's eye. And then between the two, when I went to the digestive issues, the master of the dog was also having stomach issues. And so it's very important that you just talk to your dog, you talk to your animals and say, you don't need to hold this for me. So if you notice that you're having a stomach issue or that you're having an eye issue or you're being nervous, just sit with your pet and talk to them. Say, you know what? You don't need to take on what I'm taking on. You don't need to feel what I am feeling. But it's very kind of you, but you don't need to do that. I'll heal this on my own. So I thought that was beautiful. It was a beautiful and very emotional session because I started to feel things for its owner as well. So this one, I'm going to show you a picture if you can see it. This one is of a dog that had to scratch my nose, was very, very sick, and they weren't too sure what was wrong with this dog. And what was interesting with this is I went into the healing session, and this was just an individual private session. I went into the healing session and I said, you know, I talked to the dog and I said, let's have a soul to soul connection. All of our energy is the same and we can communicate. Our words will be universal. So as I was praying, setting my intention, I heard the dog say, well, okay, then I would like some lavender oil. I'm like, lavender oil? You want lavender oil? He's like, yes, I want lavender oil. And I said, well, I don't use oils in my session. Well, it'll make me feel really good. Can I have lavender oil? Okay. So I took some lavender oil, I put it on my wrist. They smelled it and I said, you got it. Lavender oil it is. Now that was one of the first things that I said during the healing session, just to let the owner know, you know what? Your dog requested lavender oil. I followed the request. And what I learned afterwards is she almost fell off her chair. She said, "Oh my gosh, I put lavender oil on his head every night before he goes to bed." So she knew we immediately had a soul to soul connection. We immediately were connecting. And then the healing continued to go on. And I'm just going to express to you that I would text the owner and say, okay, this is what I'm feeling here. Because I knew that she was in her office. This was also a service dog, and she needed to know how long the session was going to be so that she knew, okay, I'm going to sit with my dog. I'm going to be with her. I'm going to watch him and see what his reactions are during this. But when the session was over, I text the session's over, and at that very same time, she noticed that her dog was done, got up from laying on her lap and went on the floor and started to play. And it was like we were so in sync the entire time. For me as a healer, I was just like in awe that the dog was feeling exactly how I was feeling, just like what happens with my clients in their healing sessions. It was happening with this beautiful, loving dog. Now, I'm going to read to you what she wrote. This is her testimonial. "Thank you a million times for helping my Schnauzer, my constant companion and working dog who comforts people in grief in the visit in my office. Not only did you correctly identify my dog Baron's illness, you also healed his discomfort. And you accomplished this from a distance. I've listened to the session recording twice. Some things that you said during our session made immediately sense, while the rest would prove later to be 100% accurate. Here's a few examples that I documented on the auto recording that you provided. You said that you guided to use lavender oil, which I talked about. This amazed me. I put a drop of lavender oil on the top of his head and on my own forehead every night at bedtime. This detail was only known within our immediate family. You pinpoint where he had a loose declaw. I checked and you were correct. This detail, known only to Baron, provided evidence of your soul-to-soul connection with this precious dog. You said that his liver biopsy would turn out to be benign and his health would be restored through a special diet with no medications or further invasive procedures needed. Within the next few weeks, all of these statements were provided accurately per the veterinary specialist who treated Baron. In fact, there was nothing you stated that wasn't incorrect. I sat totally still holding Baron during the time of his healing appointment. At one time, Baron jumped from my lap, stretched and drank water, and then he played with a toy. I noticed the time and watched. Later, I would learn it was the exact time that the distant healing had ended. Apparently, Baron knew. He had no other further pain after that sessions, which were 4 months ago. And this is Baron today. This is healthy Baron. You have got to see this. Where is his picture? So handsome. Look at what a difference. Can you see? Let me see. See? What a difference. And so I share this with you because so many people just think, well, they're just pets, right? But they are our family and they feel emotions just like we do. Some have separation anxiety. Some, they don't want to be left alone. They want to go everywhere with you. Some need to sleep in the same room as you. And some are just very sensitive. And some will let you know. Like some will let you know what they want when you want. What I found interesting is I was doing a healing session yesterday. And God referenced a dog. And what he said was to this young boy. He said, "You have such a hard time with your words and trying to translate them and trying to get them out in the proper way that it frustrates you because he has how do I want to say this? He has a hard time expressing his words." And so God says, it's like a dog. A dog doesn't talk to you, but you can understand just by that communication, that your intuition, the one-on-one, soul to soul, just looking, you know what the dog wants, you know what your pet wants, you know what the horse wants. And he said, so I also know what you want. You don't need to communicate through words, just communicate to me through your mind. So that's another thing that we can learn from this is we understand, and we don't, sometimes we think we don't understand, right? We think, what's wrong with my dog? I know that something's wrong. How do you know that something's wrong? Because you can see how they're acting, you can see their emotions. Then what do? You nurture them, you love them, you take care of them, but know that they understand your words. Talk to them, love them, embrace them, just like you would a child. And these 2 sessions were just proof that their language is universal to ours. And I just wanted to share this. I'm so excited to share this, and enjoy your pets, everyone, and give them a hug today. With that, my dog just rang the bell. If you heard, she means she wants to go outside. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.